he is the bounty hunter, Bryan Keith! And his opponent, making his Circle 6 debut tonight, weighing in at 187 pounds and fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, an independent wrestling Hall of Famer having held titles in Ring of Honor, TNA as well as NWA, the notorious 187 Homicide!
Casey Miller, our ring announcer, doing a fantastic job listing off just some of the accolades of that legend, Homicide. But will he give way to Bryan Keith, the bounty hunter? No slouch, not going to roll over for Homicide. Doesn't care how long his resume is. He's building an impressive one of his own. Looking to improve upon it here, Circle 6 Gangreen. Thank you all for joining us on the Title Match Network. I am James Kincaid, taking you all the way here this evening from the Jam Handy in Detroit.
You fucked up with your drunk. Coors Light? You pissed? What a pussy, come on, bro.
I don't want to know what's in that, actually. And there's the bell. We are underway. Homicide and Bryan Keith. Here again, the iconic Jam Handy in Detroit. We are the very first pro wrestling promotion to run in this historic venue. Intensity on both men's visages there, and the lockup. Who's going to get the better of it here? Keith pushing Homicide back into the corner. Keith backing up now, staring a hole in Homicide. Side headlock applied by the bounty hunter. Shrugged off. A shoulder coming in. Homicide shaking it off. This time it's Homicide coming in with the shoulder, and Keith standing toe-to-toe with him. Neither man given much ground in their early going. That is better have to do to get the upper hand. There you go, see another headlock into the pin. Counter from Homicide, but Keith holding on to that headlock once again. Keith's got to be careful here. You could get caught very easily. Homicide rolling off, scoop. And a slam plants Homicide. Bryan Keith starting to feel it, beckoning him on. Oh, kick might have landed a little low. Maybe belt high. Judging by Keith's reaction, yeah, I think it hit him right about at the belt. And the scoop slam of Homicide's own. Bryan Keith saying he's going to take a lot more than that. So Homicide with an uppercut right underneath the chin. That one rocked him. Takes him over, elbow drop, finds the mark. Into the cover, once again a 1 count. Keith's shaking his head. And another throat thrust. Sends Keith into the corner. Irish whip, and a back elbow. Homicide taking the early control here into the cover. 2 count now. So he has inched at least a count closer to getting by the bounty hunter, Bryan Keith. Got Keith by the left arm, trapped in the corner. Keith able to reverse. Firing in with a boot. Homicide saw it coming, caught him. Now twisting that ankle. Twisting that ankle. Just wrenching it. Maybe the knee as well. No, going just straight for that ankle. That's gonna going to be hard for Bryan Keith to continue with a bum wheel, and he's rolling to the outside in a hurry. Trying to see if he can continue to put weight on it. And Homicide. Homicide looking to launch. Bryan Keith intercepting him. Cutting him off before he had the opportunity to dive out. And back into the ring. Goes Keith and a knee drop to the back of the head. Unprotected shot from Bryan Keith to the back of the head. Homicide now. It's his turn to try and shake the cobwebs out. And a chop. Oh. Oh! That will absolutely mess up your equilibrium. And now Homicide takes control with Keith in the corner. Looking to pound away. Bryan Keith trying to find, oh, monkey flip from Homicide. And a left-handed lariat. Into the cover, hook of the leg. 2 count only. Bryan Keith not ready to go. Oh, and enziguri from the Bounty Hunter. Finds the mark of the side of the head. You see Homicide felt that one. Homicide is dazed. And Bryan Keith trying to follow just that boot right underneath the chin. Official trying to take control as Homicide finds himself on the ring apron. Not a safe place to be when Bryan Keith is on the other end. And a suplex from the apron to the inside. Dead center, hook of the leg. Bryan Keith, big victory here? No. But he is getting closer now. Suplex from the apron to the inside. Bryan Keith starting to feel it. Again, still to come in our main event, 440, taking on Faces of Death in a thumbtack tag match. 200,000 thumbtacks. Unbelievable. That is still to come. Bryan Keith dishing out more punishment to Homicide. Thrusting that shoulder. Trying to bury Homicide in the turnbuckles there in the corner. Forearm looked like got him right across the nose. That one stung Homicide. Another knife edge shot. Back and forth they go now. Slashing at one another. Homicide says again. Offering back. Not sure who's getting the better of it thus far. Oh! A little bit of a fake out from Keith. Caught him with the jab. And another throat thrust from Homicide. Homicide up and over. Takes down Bryan Keith. Hook of the leg. Oh, but Bryan Keith looks, yes. The official caught at the last moment. Bryan Keith got his foot on the ropes, breaking up the pin. And still to come, we have the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. He was challenged earlier by Camaro Jackson. Rascals reunite here at Circle 6, taking on RSP and Atticus Coger, 440. Homicide is raking the chest from the ears down, and he's biting him. Homicide biting the top of the head. Taking his pound of flesh from Bryan Keith. He's got Keith in a dangerous position here. And Homicide have in mind, might not matter. As Bryan Keith reverses it, mercy! Could have caught Homicide here, big time win for Bryan Keith, no! What a reversal from the Bounty Hunter. Nearly putting Homicide away. From the jaws of defeat. Bryan Keith pulling a rabbit out of a hat, looking to score again. And this time it's Homicide who's countering. Homicide's got him by the beard. Homicide got him by the beard. That freed him up. And launching Bryan Keith into the 6 in the center of the ring for 3. No! 2 count only, but getting so close is Homicide. Back and forth, these two go. Homicide hanging on, swinging those hips. There's a second suplex. Looking for the third. A la the legend Eddie Guerrero. The tribute. Oh, Bryan Keith spoiling the party, gets out of it. Round and round they go. DDT plants Homicide. The DDT finds the mark. Will it be 3? No. Bryan Keith thought that he had done enough to get 3. Homicide still in it, but he is rocking and reeling, using the corner for support right now as the Bounty Hunter sizing him up. Took too much time. Homicide able to offer that elbow. Now looking perhaps tornado DDT of his own. Yes, but Bryan Keith able to launch him off. And now double under gets him up. Power bomb! The plunge into the 3. No, the right shoulder uncovered by the leg, and that allowed Homicide to shoot it up at the last possible moment. And this match continues. Bryan Keith getting frustrated now. Multiple times in the matchup, he thought he sealed the deal. Homicide trying to get back into right back into the choke. Homicide just stood right up into it, but no, he caught him. Trying to launch Bryan Keith. He's just trying to choke the life out of him. This Bryan Keith at this juncture in the matchup, a wise strategy. Homicide fighting for dear life in there. And look now Keith trying to get the body scissors around him, the legs. And Homicide just holding on to the official's hand here. Again, fighting for everything he's got to try and get out of this hold. Homicide doing whatever he can. But Bryan Keith still applying. Oh, he's got the fingers. He's got the fingers. And then he sent Keith neck first in the cutter. Neck first in the top rope, and then the cutter. Cover. No, how close was that? What a volley from Homicide. Used the top rope to free himself from the hold, that colliding with the neck of Bryan Keith, and then into that cutter. And here we go. Could be thinking cop killer here. Bryan Keith knows that all too well. There's definitely, when you're a legend like Homicide, there's a book out on you. People come in scouting. You're very bad. It's another suplex up and over into the pin. Hooks the leg. Oh my goodness. Bryan Keith eyelashes away. So very close, picking up a huge victory here at Circle 6 Gangreen. Bryan Keith, what does he have to do to put the finishing touches on this? Looking for another plunge. Perhaps just too much taken out of him at this juncture of both men. Homicide dropped down. Homicide caught him. Homicide trying to turn him over. Thinking Boston Crab here, perhaps. Doesn't matter. Keith able to reverse it. Looking for a lariat. Homicide caught him. Oh, he plants it with a cop killer, and the notorious 187 gets the 3.
The winner of the match, Homicide!
Back and forth it was, but Homicide has the last word. Continues to build on that already Hall of Fame resume, and here you see it. Let's take another look at it. Looking lariat was the bounty hunter Bryan Keith. Homicide caught him, and then cop killer. And Keith was out. Academic from there into the 3 count. Homicide with the victory.